Very good afternoon, all of you. So, our today's class is defense technology. So, we know something about defense. Now, in this present global scenario, defense force plays a vital role in the economic growth of any country. We know very well how defense connected with economic growth. So, for example, see recent war between Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine and Russia. Though the country Ukraine is very small when compared to Russia, Ukraine is resisting Russia for months together. Reason is well known. There is a support from United States and the European countries towards Ukraine, and they are not directly involved, but they are supporting technically, providing latest warheads and equipment. This provides resistance to the Ukraine. Okay, so in defense terms, it is a well-known fact that the United States is the biggest defense force in the world. Biggest defense force in the world. At the time of Cold War between USSR and the USA, almost two countries were equal that time. When USSR disintegrated, United States alone became number one in terms of defense and other aspects. Since it is number one in defense, also in economic aspects, number one in the world. So, for economic growth of every country, any country, a defense force plays vital role, as you know. Recently, we have seen Agnipath scheme. Why it is introduced. So, let us see later. First of all, go into this topic, defense technology. Okay. Let us have some introduction about our India. See, the Republic of India consists of three informed forces, as you know: Indian Army, Indian Navy, and Indian Air Force. Besides these three armed forces, uniformed forces, supported paramilitary forces also there. Supported paramilitary. For example, for protecting the length and the breadth of the Coast Guard, the coastal line of India, Coast Guard, for Indian Coast Guard is there, ICG, and paramilitary organizations like Border Security Force and some other forces, CRPF and some other forces are there to protect the land area. So, mainly there are three forces and supported by other paramilitary forces. Normally, paramilitary forces protect the line of control area. Whenever war declared, these paramilitary forces will be called off from the active zone, and these military forces are responsible to protect Indian territory, right? So this is basic thing. As we know, there are three forces. What is the responsibility of each force? Let us see. In general, three forces combinedly called as military. Military. Okay. So military is not in the sense of army. Military consists of three forces. So who is the supreme commander of armed forces of India? Supreme commander of armed forces in India. Who is supreme commander? Yes. Any reply? Who is supreme commander of armed forces? Yes, exactly. President of India is the supreme commander of armed forces. So, any time war to be declared, on the advice of Prime Minister, only President can be able to declare war. Okay, so he is the supreme commander for Indian armed forces. See, now we have a brief idea about our Indian armed forces. Ministry of Defense consists of three forces, has approximately strength of 1.4 million active personnel. I have mentioned active personnel. Are there any inactive personnel? So, inactive personnel means the paramilitary forces will be called as inactive personnel, and retired defense personnel also called as inactive personnel. Whenever requirement comes, they have to attend the war. Okay, so those are called inactive personnel. So three forces combinedly together, we have 1.4 million active personnel, out of which approximately 50 to 52% personnel belong to army. Okay, 50 to 52, 50 to 52% of total active personnel belong to army. Okay, so remaining 48% nearly shared between air force and navy. Between this air force and navy, air force people are some more greater than navy people. Okay, navy commander third in terms of defense personnel, right? Okay, so that depends upon territory region protection of India. Okay, so we have land territory is much critical when compared to this water territory. Okay, that is the reason army plays the most important role in the defense, right? Because we have neighboring countries, as you know, Pakistan, China. So these are the countries which are not to be believed upon, right? So that is the reason army plays important role. See, Indian defense has third largest, now we can say second largest military force in the world. Second largest. China has first largest defense force in the world, having approximately 2.18 million active personnel. USA, India almost near, but India is a slight more, having slight more personnel. So second largest military in the world is India. In terms of defense personnel, there are several factors to be considered in terms of budget, in terms of technicality, in terms of missile technology, in terms of warfare, in terms of aircraft carrier ships, like that. There are some different aspects. But in case of active personnel, we are the second largest country in the world. As you see here, China 2.18 million, USA 1.38 million, right? So as far as budget is concerned, here I have mentioned that is a 2020-21 budget, but in 2021-22 budget, there are slight variations. US budget for 2020-21 was $801 billion. This is 2021. I am talking about 21-22. Sorry, this is 21-22. Approximately nearly $801 billion US budget. China, as usual, come under second place. That is 21-22, $293 billion. India increased from 74 to 76.6 billion dollars. So these three countries defense budget is more than 70% of the world, more than 70% budget of the world, approximately. Okay, US alone having 50%, nearly 50% budget of the world defense budget. Okay, so now you may imagine what is the Pakistan defense budget. Can you guess approximate percent in terms of tens? In terms of tens, you can say 10, 20, 30, 40, so and so billion dollars. Pakistan defense budget. Just guess. Pakistan, yeah. So Rishi mentioned 20%, it is 10%, okay? $10.5 billion is the last year defense budget for Pakistan. See, this is nearly 10 times less than us. 10 times less than us. Okay. So, in terms of defense power, average defense power, for example, Russia is most powerful in terms of missile technology. Even its missile technology is most modern than USA. Okay. In fighter flights, USA come in first place, like that. Okay. In some other aspect, we are number one, like this. Okay. So India come under fourth most powerful defense in the world. First is USA, as the average I am telling about. China second, Russia third, India fourth. Okay, Russia defense budget is nearly $66 billion. $10 billion less than us. Okay, $10 billion less than us. Okay, so this almost constant. It continuously it was a constant for last 2 decades, right? So in future also it goes continuously. US number one in terms of budget, China number two, India is number three, Russia is UK is number four, Russia is number five, so on in terms of budget. Okay, so in terms of power, India fourth place, France, Germany, Japan, UK, South Korea, so on. And some other countries, generally, they do not allot defense budget, particularly for their defense personnel, and they pay amount to USA or China to protect their interests. Okay, so such countries are also there. So this is about Indian Armed Forces outline. Okay. Yes, we have three forces. First, we discuss Indian Army. Indian Army. Army is important and a vital force of defense. Its main intention is to defend the territory of the country. and to neutralize any attack from other countries. See, what a great what we call tradition, great tradition of India. We never occupied any other country. We never tried to fight against any country. We never tried to enter in any other countries see that what we call that area, other countries border area. Okay, so our tradition is such since ancient time, always other countries try to enter into our country and grab whatever the property or whatever things we are having. Okay, and they have destroyed several other ancient things. Okay, as you know, so India's what you say votary always, India has been a votary of peace always. So it never occupied and tried to occupy any other country. So that is how defending territory of the country and to neutralize any attack, neutralize. After neutralization, we are not going to occupy their country. It was happened several times to Pakistan. Okay, we have not occupied, right? So this is our tradition, Indian tradition. So we should be proud of that. Okay, so Indian Army having 6 operational commands. See why these operational commands are required. We have long land area. It is not possible to locate headquarters at one region and send the personnel at different locations to facilitate the personnel to receive instantaneous orders. So it was fixed several operational commands. So as far as Indian Army is concerned, there are 6 operational commands. So they are northern Udhampur, western Chandigarh, central Lucknow, eastern Kolkata, southern Pune, southwestern Jaipur. Okay, so that side we are having more land area. East is not required because we are having coastal area, right? So eastern, it is mentioned Kolkata, it is for protecting southeastern states, not for east states, right? Okay, Kolkata. So these are the operational commands. In each operational command, there will be one lieutenant general in charge for that. All this army staff will be trained at training command at Shimla. For army, there is a training command in India at Shimla. This is about army. And Indian Air Force, the training command is there at Bangalore, training command. So Indian Air Force also meant for to secure Indian airspace and to neutralize any attack. That's all. To neutralize any attack, to secure and protect Indian airspace. So if other aeroplane and fighter plane enter into our space, first they warn. If it is not neutralized, they will attack. Okay, like that, they will secure our airspace. Likewise, Air Force having operational commands at New Delhi for Western Command, Allahabad for Central, Shillong for Eastern, Southern Thiruvananthapuram, Southwestern Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Okay, so there are 5 operational commands. For Army, there are 6. For Air Force, there are 5. For Navy, there are 3. There are 3. Okay, so third force is Navy. Similarly, to protect territorial water, coastal line, and geopolitical interest in different seas and oceans, our Indian Navy is working. Indian Navy is working. So all these headquarters located at New Delhi, but operational commands spreaded over the country, right? So there are three operational commands: Western Mumbai, Eastern Visakhapatnam, Southern Kochi, that is Cochin. Okay, so there are the three operational commands. At each command, one vice admiral will be in charge commander, right? Vice admiral. So these are the three forces of India. Now we have some information here. What are the ranks of the officers in three forces? Here I have mentioned equivalent ranks in three forces. Okay, so top rank in army is a general. Top rank in army is general. Navy is admiral. Air Force, Air Chief Marshal. Air Chief Marshal. These are the three top ranks of the defense, right? They are also called four-star officers. Four-star. They allotted 4 stars. Okay, 4 stars for their car as well as their dress, right? So below the general, lieutenant general is there. Lieutenant general in charge for operational commands of army. 6 commands are there, no? 6 operational commands. From these 6 operational commands, one of the lieutenant general will become general. Okay, likewise, admiral, vice admirals in charges for 3 naval headquarters for 3 commands. Air marshal. There are 5 operational commands for Air Force. At 5 operational commands, there are 5 air marshals. Below ranks are Major General in case of Army, Brigadier, Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Major. Okay. Below that, there are 2 ranks. Okay. Admiral, Vice Admiral, Rear Admiral, Commodore, Captain, Commander, Lieutenant Commander. Indian Air Force, Air Chief Marshal, Air Marshal, Air Vice Marshal, Air Commodore, Group Captain, Wing Commander, Squadron Leader, right? So these are the equivalent ranks. Top ranks, as you know, General, Admiral, Air Chief Marshal. In fact, no 3 heads of 3 forces should not meet as their own. On the permission of the President of India only, they have to meet. Or at the meeting with the Prime Minister of India, they have to meet. Okay, so there is some rule for that. And also there is a rank known as Field Marshal. Field Marshal. This is a ceremonial rank. When general retires. That means Chief of Army retires. If a government considers for his service and government want to give ceremonial rank and ceremonial respect to that particular officer by virtue of his services, they will confer this post. That is Field Marshal. Field Marshal after retirement as general, that is 4-star. Field Marshal is 5-star. This Field Marshal will not have any powers on the force, but he will attend all meetings with the President of India during any critical or war times and gives his advice. This Field Marshal rank will continue on the person who was conferred till his death. Okay, so and also this Field Marshal rank must be conferred as soon as he is retired. From that date only he has to be given that rank. Otherwise no. Okay, so as Field Marshal, only 2 persons were conferred in India till date, only two persons. One person was Sam Manik Shah. Sam Manik Shah. I think there is viral in WhatsApp his name. Anybody have seen that? Surprisingly, today is death anniversary of Field Marshal Manik Shah. Okay, Field Marshal Manik Shah. Okay, fine. See, Sam Manik Shah, when India attacked on China, is shown very crucial role in the war to confer that respect. The field marshal post was conferred on the Shah Manik Shah, right, by Srimati Indira Gandhi, right. He died during 2008. Rank given during 1973. See how many years that rank was conferred on him. And also there is a surprising incident happened was when Abdul Kalam was president of India up to 2006. During 2005, it was so happened that Abdul Kalam heard that Sam Manik Shah was in hospital, defense hospital at Ooty near. Okay. Abdul Kalam, as President of India, went there to visit Sam Manik Shah, who was on bed, unable to even stand, and asked his health condition with the doctors, and he discussed Sam Manik Shah himself, right? At that time, Sam Manik Shah was on bed. The President of India, Abdul Kalam, was standing and discussed regarding his welfare. Anything from government is pending. Then Sam Manik Shah told, sir, when I was retired during 1973 and conferred as field marshal, the entire payment is till date. It is due. It is due. In fact, Sam Manik Shah has not shown any interest to get his payment when he was well. When he was on bed, that too, when President of India asked him, he told that. Then President given instructions to his military secretary, accompanied him, and asked him to complete the process within 24 hours. Okay. When President of India went to Delhi, within 24 hours, a check was prepared. That I think some crores of rupees. It was sent by air to the Sam Manik Shah and handed over same day. The great Manik Shah has given this amount to military personnel who died in action. Okay, that amount was donated to them, right? That was great Manik Shah. Right? So here you may have some surprising thing. KM Kariyappa. KM Kariyappa was senior to Manik Shah. Sam Manik Shah was retired in 1973 and conferred field marshal in 1973 itself, right? Before that, KM Kariyappa retired in 1953, just 20 years before to him. He was still alive, right? And he was not conferred field marshal at that time. But Rajiv Gandhi was prime minister at that time, 1986. In fact, when Manik Shah was given field marshal rank, some of the officers and the defense ministry personnel have given information about General Karyappa. He also most renowned person and served excellently in Indo-Pak war. He also deserved for it. Somehow, Indira Gandhi has not accepted that time. Same thing put forth in time in the period of Rajiv Gandhi, and Rajiv Gandhi accepted that, and in cabinet meeting he got approval from the cabinet, because any general has to be conferred as field marshal on the day of retirement only it is possible. If not, Indian cabinet permission is required for that. So who will take that? Rajiv Gandhi came forward and put before cabinet and took the approval to confer field marshal to the General K.M. Karyappa. And field marshal was given during their 1986. Since 1986, 1993 till his death, there were two field marshals in India. There were two field marshals. That was the record, right? Here, there are some reasons why field marshal was not conferred earlier to Karyappa. It is not out of list to mention here. When India got independence, British government has given independence, and there were elections, and Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister of India. At that time, our defense chief post was headed by a British personnel. Then Jawaharlal Nehru thought that our people not enough to having not enough knowledge or experience to hold that post, because till to that date only British people were holding the supreme posts of army or navy, air force. Okay, so Jawaharlal Nehru thought and asked Karyappa, who was the senior most and supposed to take the general post, called Karyappa and asked him, Mr. Karyappa, you are not having a suitable experience to hold the general post. If you accept, I will ask the British government to deploy or to depute their chief to India for some time, so that he will have training and experience from him. Then, can you imagine what Karyappa has told? Just guess and give me answer. Yes or no? You cannot say to Prime Minister yes or no. So what was happened? Nehru has asked Karyappa that, Mr. Karyappa, you are not having enough experience to hold the post of general. I will ask British government to depute their head for some time for us. Then the great Karyappa told Jawaharlal Nehru, see, you will surprised to hear this answer. Respected Prime Minister, sir, you are not having experience as Prime Minister prior to this. Shall we go to ask British government to depute somebody to hold the Prime Minister post? up to some period so as to enable experience by you. Do you agree for that? Nehru surprised. Nehru surprised. Surprised and appointed Kariyappa general. Kariyappa general. I think this might be the one of the points not to consider Kariyappa by Indira Gandhi as field marshal. Might be one of the points. Okay. So these types of situations were there earlier, right? Do you think now this type of situations are possible? Do you think? Okay. Yeah. As far as Air Force is concerned, after Air Chief Marshal, if ceremonial rank to be conferred, that rank name is Marshal of Air Force. Arjun Singh, not Arjun. Arjun Singh was given that Marshal of Air Force in 2002, died in September 2017. Till that date, he held the post. After that, nobody was given. Prior to that, nobody was given. So, how many field marshals are there till today? 2. As of now, no field marshal. Marshal of Air Force, only 1. In case of Indian Navy, nobody was considered as ceremonial post of Admiral of the Fleet. Okay, till today, none. Right. So this is about Indian defense. Next. So I think there is some more time. Let us go to another slide also. Right. Now you are going some more beyond the fundamentals. We have a defense technology, and we should know something about what are the warheads, armaments used in defense. Among those, missile system plays very important role. That is called missile technology. Missile and technology. What is a missile? What is a missile? It is a warhead used during wars to destroy enemy's targets in air, in surface, in underwater, right? So there are different technologies for this missile. Depends upon based on their classification. There are three types. First one is on the basis of target and launching position. We may define missiles as air to air. Air to air means an aircraft carries a missile and used it on other aircraft. Okay, air to air. That is called air to air missile. AAM. Okay, surface to air missile. Surface to air. That means a missile will be held by a ship, okay, or a tanker on the land, okay. So from land to air to destroy the air target. That is called surface to air missile. SAM, okay, surface to air missile. So this is it depends upon target and launching position. So launching from air to air, that is air to air, air to surface, surface to surface. Suppose there is missile on a ship and that missile used to destroy another ship, right? Surface to surface missile. Next, air to surface. In aeroplane, some bombs are kept, missiles are kept, and those missiles are used to destroy the target on the ground, right? That is, these are the different types of missiles, right? Now, in this, our important topic is integrated guided missile development program. Integrated guided IZMDP. This was the first missile development program in India, which was very, very important of those time, right? So IZMDP was an Indian Ministry of Defense program launched during 1983. At that time, Abdul Kalam was drafted. So where was he that time? Any one of you can tell me. Where was Abdul Kalam at that time during 1983? Where was Abdul Kalam? In last class we have discussed. Abdul Kalam was joined in 1969 in ISRO and worked up to 1983. Right? So Abdul Kalam was drafted from ISRO and kept as chief executive for this project. What is this project? Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. That means at that time, US, Russia, okay, I think at that time USSR was there. USSR, China, France having missile system. India is not having. We were procuring from other countries. Okay, so to avoid foreign investment, so we have designed that program. Ministry of Defense designed IGMDP program. Abdul Kalam joined in 1983. DRDO, Defense Research Development Organization, which is in Hyderabad, managed to develop these laboratories and research centers, six such organizations. Okay, in each organization, one of spare part will be prepared. All this to be integrated and indigenized missiles were developed, right, at that time. So, who is the missile man of India? Who is the missile man of India? Who is missile man of India? Abdul Kalam. Excellent. Abdul Kalam. Missile man of India is Abdul Kalam. See how great service was rendered by Abdul Kalam for the progress of Indian science and technology. In ISRO, he made several developments, and as far as missiles are concerned, with a single hand, he designed several missiles. Okay, so DRDO, he was head of the DRDO at that time, and IZMDP was progressed excellently. And at that time, it was aimed to develop the short range surface to air missiles, SAM I mentioned, no? Surface to air missiles for utilized in three services: Army, Navy, Air Force. Okay, so Trishul missile was developed and faced persistent problems in between 2007 to 1983. 1983 to 2000, there were a lot of developments, a lot of indigenously made missiles and successes. After that, there was a very much competition, global competition in technology. By virtue of our economical problems, we are unable to cope up with this with that competition, and other countries like US, Russia, France went up with most modern technology. We were unable. So that was the reason the failures of missiles took place after 2000, 2000 to 2007. At that time, there was intellectual meetings in the MOD, and took a decision that instead of investing on this, we procure technology and spare parts from other countries who are ready to share with us and develop those technology by shutting down this ICMDP program, right? So it was successfully went up to 1983 to 2007, and a decision was taken in 2007 to shut down integrated guided missile development program because of financial crisis, right? And it was decided that it is better to acquire technical knowledge from other countries and to procure spare parts from other countries and indigenously develop. That was the situation that time. On 7th May 2008, the closing of strategic ICMDP was announced by Government of India and decided to undertake development and production with foreign partnerships. Foreign partnerships. This is as far as missiles are concerned, right? Missiles are concerned. So you must remember the integrated guided missile development program was shut down during 2007 and categorically announced during the year 2008. Okay, started 1983. Let us see what is the phases of development of missile man of India. In 1960, APJ Kalam joined in as scientist in DRDO, Hyderabad. There is one thing to be mentioned here. What is time? 55. Okay. At that time, in fact, during childhood days, Abdul Kalam's dream was to become pilot, aeroplane pilot. By looking at skies of Rameshwaram, he has a dream. So after completion of his BTech in Chennai, he attended for the post of pilot. Among 8 vacancies, 9 people were selected for interview. Abdul Kalam is one of those. 9 people were completed their interview, and 1 people not selected. That was Abdul Kalam. It was a boon for India that he was not selected as pilot. If he was selected as pilot, India would not have this much technology as of day. Okay, so that was very fortunate to India as Abdul Kalam not selected. After that, he joined as a scientist in DRDO. From that time, his progress continued like this. 63, 64, visited NASA. What is NASA? National Aeronautics and Space Administration. That is authentic, that is official organization of America for space and research organization, right? Virginia, Goddard Space Flight Center, Goddard, Robert Goddard, the person who developed the latest rocket, okay? Latest rocket designed by Robert Goddard. After his name, a space flight center was given as Goddard Space Flight Center. Normally, space shuttles will be launched from this place, Goddard Space Flight Center. Space shuttle. What are shuttle? What is? I will discuss later. 65. Expandable rocket program started independently at DRDO, and Kalam became part of INCOSPER under Vikram Sarabhai, Indian National Council for Space and Research Organization, Space and Research, right? So Vikram Sarabhai came India after completing his studies in US, and he wanted to develop Indian space science. Okay, so he was in charge for this INCOSPER, and Abdul Kalam was allotted to this. In 69, transferred to ISRO, as I told earlier, and the project director first SLV Rohini. As you know, it was failed in July 1980. Rohini 2 successful, right? Satish Dhawan was the chairman for that time. In 1980, made efforts to develop PSLV, SLV-3 successful. What is PSLV? Polar Satellite Launch Vehicles. We shall discuss very clearly afterwards all these things. 1992-99, Chief Scientific Advisor to Prime Minister of India, became Secretary to Government of India, and played important role in Pokhran 2 nuclear test. Pokhran 2 nuclear test. What is Pokhran 2 nuclear test? Is there Pokhran 1 nuclear test? Is there any Pokhran 1 nuclear test? Yes. At the time of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, atomic bomb test was conducted in 1970. First test conducted in 1976. That time Indira Gandhi, and second time at Atal Bihari Vajpayee time in Rajasthan, Pokhran 2 nuclear test was conducted. Somebody asked to show last slide, right? Yeah, this is last slide. Okay. Yeah. So in Pokhran 2, world astonished to know that India has atomic bomb technology. That was because of Abdul Kalam, great Abdul Kalam. Okay. So world recognized India is nuclear country. We should not touch India. We should not touch India. That is because of our great scientist Abdul Kalam, right? So Kalam played major part in developing many missiles under the mission, including Agni, ICBM, Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. Here from India, we can launch a missile to destroy New York City. New York City within 1 hour. Within 1 hour, it is possible for us, right? Carries nuclear weapons, Prithvi. Okay, SRSS means short range surface to surface missile. Okay, we'll know all these things. Clear? Now, ballistic missile. I think it is better to take the next class. Next class, we'll have a clear idea. Okay, so let us take up in next class. By that time, thank you. Which slide you want? The present slide or the last slide? Okay. I think you have taken screenshots. Let us continue next class. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, friends. Thank you.